Welcome to the Lander Bet Sports Betting Live Show with live show producer Matty. Swish in the comments. How you feeling today, Matty?
I'm doing well. I have got some bets down. I don't have many bets down for basketball, but I have some bets down for baseball, so I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
How are
yeah.
you?
I just reconfigured the show so it's clear. Like I wanted to do that originally. I was like, this is a fun day of sports, man. We got the NBA with just 3 games. Whatever. We all love the NBA. Probably following this show. And then MLB is going to be fun as hell. Opening day, true opening day. And
Absolutely.
then you've got you've got March Madness tonight. If anybody has anything for that, like I'm here for all of it. I definitely have a decent record so far going on my little March Madness bet. So feeling good about those. But like I said, make sure you tag Swish if you do want to ask him anything. I don't know what the turnout's going to be. We're just a little bit more impromptu. But like I needed some help today on a 3-game slate and figured it was a lot more advantageous for all of us if we just got something out early, talk about all the sports we can, get it out so it's up for everybody for the day by about 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast. But let's start with some basketball. We can run through these 3 games. If anybody's got anything, man, hit us up in the comments if you want to look at any specific bets for the NBA to start. Working through 3 games, so it's not like it's going to take too long. And then we'll do any kind of baseball that Maddie's got. Definitely want to look at some of his picks for baseball, and then want to get into any March Madness that you guys have. Just it's sports day, man. We'll just celebrate sports today. But let's start with what we're talking about with people coming in. I got some comments already, so I think we can look at some stuff. Do you want to start with? I was just going to start with Duren, and I think it's at least worth it to just touch on that game real quick, and then I see you guys with the Charlotte bets here against the Knicks and those bets, so we'll get to those as well. But looking at the Detroit stuff tonight, they just played like Jalen Duren played 40 minutes, I think. So did Danis played like 42 last night. Is this a game that you had an idea for or a bet?
No. The honest answer is no. I think this is the one game that I couldn't find anything I really liked. The only thing I was considering was maybe a SAR rebounds. In terms of Duren, though, I think he hit it spot on. I think like the 23.5 number is the same as we were getting the past couple of nights, which I don't know that he's the last 2 or 3 games, he's 2 and 3 hitting it. I mean, no, I'm sorry, 1 and 3 hitting it. The Pelicans is a better matchup for sure, but you also played the night before for 40 minutes. So, like, I don't know how much Duren's actually needed in this game. I do think the Pelicans are going to keep it close for sure. I don't know that Detroit's going to ever be in position of losing the game, though.
Yeah.
So through that lens, I think 23.5 is a touch high. Am I looking to fade it? No.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends on minutes. I mean, it's definitely an easy matchup for sure. If we're looking at the rebounds, 11.5, that's right. I mean, 10.5 we'd love. There was a 10.5 hanging around, but that's the problem with Detroit is just what the commenter brought up right there, which is just like, are we going to see them playing normal minutes? I think it's gonna be a close game. To be honest, I lean that they can't just punt this game, because I think if they don't play their guys, then they're somewhat punting, because I don't think Ron Holland and company is going to handle a decent squad right now for New Orleans, who is giving a lot of teams to run for their money, right? They just had a good game against the Knicks, only lost by 5 to the Cavs, beat the Clips by 15, only lost by 2 to the Rockets. Like this ain't no blowout, and it's a 4.5 point spread.
Totally.
So yeah, it's gonna be real. I don't know if Trey's playing, but I think DeJounte was ruled in. I'm not sure if that's been updated, but I think we see at least DeJounte now at this point. So I think they keep it close. I don't know exactly what that does for Duren in terms of minutes. I think you definitely put him into the like mid-30, low to mid-30s. A lot of these games have been blowouts though, so it's tough to like get there with it. But 23.5 points for dude. Yeah, it's right at the number. Let's just put it that way. It's right at the number, and we don't need to like waste too much time on it. If this is 11.5 is actually not too bad, although we love 10.5 for our guy as much as we can get it. This is a really bad rebounding team overall for them. Would you touch the boards at 11.5?
No, I don't think so.
It's just fair, man.
I think it's probably a good number because it's fair with a bump because of who he's playing, but I don't think I'll touch it.
Yeah. For sure. Interesting thought here from Mike talking about the backups playing a bit more, including Danis is technically the backup. Maybe some Murray steals. I know he's good on those. Mike's got the steals, sometimes the blocks down actually pretty well. I like the idea of the steals against him. Look, I'll just take this moment real quick to say, like, looking at the points and rebounds for Jalen Duren, this is what we do on the show here. We don't just go, hey, this guy's got a really easy matchup, we should bet his overs. We look at the number and we go, the number here is just right at fair. So if you're playing this like a stock, this stock doesn't have any real buying power here because it's already expensive as at the number that it's at. So All-Star, though, was interesting. And I know there's a couple other looks in this game, so we'll keep rolling. But All-Star on the boards, 5.5, decent matchup. What did he play last night against the Hawks? He played 37. So he's definitely like inserted into the lineup for games that are close. As you can see, like 3-point game against the Lakers, he's in for 36 minutes. 1-point loss last night, he's in for 37. I could see it.
What's his assists at? Maybe I was looking at the RA. No, I guess it was just the rebounds.
3.5. Yeah,
it was just the rebounds. And I think the rebounds still are there. It doesn't look sexy on there, but like Asar is a very good rebounder. My question and my concern here would be, who would Asar be guarding? And where does that put him on the floor?
Right. Probably Trey Murphy if he's in. Otherwise, potentially DeJounte. It's gonna be one of the better players for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're looking at the starting lineup, it's him on either Trey, and then it moves to probably DeJounte, because like at that point it's DeJounte. So that would be bad for rebounds, to your point. Yeah, I understand the thought process there. And if we look at the assists are a bit high, even without Cade, keeping this number at 3.5. You look at the potentials, like 7 potentials, 5 potentials, obviously losing minutes and blowouts over here. So maybe there's a little bit, but once you get up to 3.5 against better comp, then yeah, you're going to lose me on the assists, but maybe the board's at 5.5 again, not going to be in great position with the problem too, which is a good point that you brought up. So he's at like 7, 8, 9 potential rebounds against non-Wizards teams, which we don't worry about the Wizards too much. So you can't get there quite as much with Osar, but I see the 5.5 as cheap when it's been as high as 6.5 against other teams. This is a bad squad overall. So in New Orleans, as far as rebounding goes, so I get that. I think that I would stay away from the assist. To your point, I might hit the rebounds. Why was I interested in DeJounte for a minute? Potentially, I guess if Trey's out, there could be some stuff there, but not a defense I'm looking at trying to take too many overs against. There was other stuff that I was looking at in the chat for a minute in this game before we try to get to something else. Now forgetting it. Oh, I do like, I at least want to talk about Brandon Miller. I actually think you can fade his threes tonight. I think that's going to be a bet I get down in a minute. But we can look at him real quick. Let's get to the Hornets game for a sec too. New York at Charlotte. Let's look at the Hornets projections here.
That's another tough one.
B. Miller on the points.
Well, just in general, the game, I couldn't find anything that I felt incredible. I found one thing actually. I'll take it back, but
is it this?
I haven't bet it. Yes, yes and no. That if you can find it 8.5, yes.
I think you can. Yeah, you can get some 8.5.
Yeah, if that's just purely betting the number.
Yeah, I'm still okay with minus. This moved fast. Damn. Let me go to that game over here. Pull up those Musa boards. Yeah, there's still some. Minus 122. I'll take. No question.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I need to get that bet down now. Yeah, I'm gonna put that down for me.
Yeah, I'll vamp. I actually took this too. I took this earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then I even parlayed it with Pete Alonso HRR. I think both of them are really good.
Please say that bet for everybody one more time. You know how much I love the cross sport parlay.
Pete Alonso, Big Meat Pete, HRR 1.5 over, and then Musa Diabate over 8.5 rebounds.
Look, I love the Knicks. I really do. I love the Knicks. I love the NBA. I love the Mets more than I love anything. God damn you, Pete Alonso. God, man.
No, he's going to have a blast in Baltimore. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he's going to have a blast not trying to hit home runs in City fucking Field. Yeah.
That's tough. While you're doing that, the other thing I was thinking about in this game, I think Mitch Rob's at 7.5 boards.
Yeah. Is that the
number? And that's also very intriguing. Plus 100.
Is that the number for him?
Yes, it is.
Wow, Mitchell.
I think it's 8.5. Yeah, right there. 7.5 boards at plus 100 feels like a very, very good bet.
That's not terrible, is it?
No. I don't think Kalkbrenner is going to stop him.
Say that again. Sorry for interrupting.
I don't think Kalkbrenner is going to stop him.
What an unfortunate name. Yeah, I totally agree. Kalkbrenner barely. I think Musa plays big minutes in this one too. Like I think he's
You'd
back
have
up
to,
like
yeah,
33, right? Yeah, they're
totally.
trying to win this game for sure. I mean, they've been the Hornets have been the beneficiaries of playing
I
bad
think they're
teams,
gonna win
blowing
it.
them out.
I'll give it a $1.50. I think they're going to win it.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Wow, 7.5 is definitely what I thought would be considered low. I guess. Wow, this is such a good opponent, maybe, but it's been up at 9.5. Was Hart missing? No, no Hart missing. Swish, what am I missing here? Why is Mitrop down at 7.5? I guess the Hornets are that good, so
It's
they're
the
just going to
Hornets
push.
in the pace of the play, I would imagine.
That's
Knicks don't play fast. Hornets play
wow.
slow.
Damn, that's such a good point. They are 2 rebounds better. We're basically saying the Hornets are like 2 rebounds per game better than these the bottom feeders, which makes sense. We got a top rebounding team versus bottom 3 right here, and including even the Pelicans are terrible. Another bottom rebounding team. That's crazy that there's that big of a. I'm not even saying anything's wrong about that, but that is wild that it's that big of a difference. Yeah, that's how good the Hornets are. So, do you still like the 7.5?
I do. Again, this
minutes,
is just
maybe?
purely betting the number. There's a realistic chance he plays the exact 16 minutes because I think the Knicks are going to be on the back step in this game.
Yeah, but that might still bring him out. I mean, I agree. Like this thing's going to stay within margin for like the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
right? And
I don't
so,
think the Hornets smack them. I just think that the Knicks are going to be on their back foot the entire game.
at best, the Hornets don't smack them for our bets because yeah, it could turn ugly for the Knicks on the road. I'm not going to buy into that with such like a 2-point spread. Like, yeah, we play this like a close game. If it's a close game, then I think you give Mitrop 20.
Really? Okay. Then yeah, I love 7.5 then.
Yeah. Like, I guess the floor for me is close to 17, 18 minutes. But for the most part, like, I mean, he played 24 against Brooklyn because they only won by 1 in that boo-boo game. 19 minutes in the blowout against the Pacers. 17 minutes in a close one against the Dubs. That's a bad spot for him, but 14 on 10 because they're so bad rebounding. Yeah, I think the minutes might be able to get him there. Let's just look at it this way for 1 sec with Mitch Rob rebounds.
And just inside baseball, something the Knicks might try to do is pull Cat early in the first to offset or stagger some of the minutes with Musa and Cat on the floor, if that makes sense.
It could be.
And so, like, you could get, for example, more Cat and Kalkbrenner than Mitch Rob and Kalkbrenner.
Yeah. Look, man, I mean, if you make his number roughly 9 against like average comp, I still think you can make it 8 against the Hornets.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, we're
no
looking
qualms.
at 18 to 22 minutes here. So, like, I do think he has a floor of about 18, and I don't think he plays more than 24. But, like, I mean, that's fine, even in a tough matchup. I understand it's not like we're not rushing to the window to bet against the Hornets on the boards by any means.
Right.
But 9.3 boards on in 20 minutes on average with these stats, and his reb chances sitting. Where are those reb chances? Can I get those? Am I not? Oh, I'm on points, you big dumb idiot. There we go. Rebound chances. 9.3, and he's only at about 14 rebound chances. This is what he plays on the season anyway. He plays about 20, 21 minutes. He averages 9 boards, and he averages about 14 rebound chances. That's not great rebound chance wise. Let me see what he did against this team in the 17 minutes he played, but they won by 28, so nothing's going to help you there with the head-to-head. I think it's okay. Yeah. Wow, this might come down to 6.5, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah, again,
not.
this is one you could probably bet live too if you wanted to gamble on getting a better number.
I'm gonna keep that in my notes for a sec, for sure. I think I have a bet I'm about to get down in this game too.
Oh, okay. What's up?
It's just time. It's just nigh time that we are looking at the Brandon Miller stuff here. This is a ban. Let me get rid of that for a second. Musa was the bet for all those that missed it, but I think Brandon Miller 3 is absurd at 3.5.
Totally. I think that the spacing of the floor that the Hornets are going to have to do, it makes this bet very good.
Yeah, I mean, there was a really long stretch. Now, when we look at these last like 4, I get a little bit more nervous because now he's at 10 attempts, 9, 10, 6. Like, if he's taking 7 to 8, then I love this under. The Knicks do give up like the 9th most 3 attempts. There is something to like their defense being Mike Brown's defense that crowds the ball handler and then allows spot up stuff. Spot up stuff. Like they give up a ton of catch and shoot, give up a decent amount of spot up. Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit warded off now by these last 4 games. And those are against a couple bad teams and the pace up spot for Miami.
This
But yeah,
is the reason I think it's a good bet, because I
because you,
think,
you like Con more.
well, no, not specifically, but I think that the spacing on the floor is probably going to allow for the Knicks to like move players around based on who's hot, right? And so with Con on the floor, I don't think you can just allow Brandon Miller to take 10 threes, basically.
Yeah. And honestly, Khan is interesting because and Chang brought this up in the chat that like look at the usage here for Khan, right? The green line indicates what his expected outcome was based on his shot attempts, his minutes, his touches. So in this game against Memphis, 36 touches, 9 shots, 21 minutes because they blew them out by 23. They blew Orlando out. He only took 11 shots. They smacked the Heat, and he got there with 14 shots, but that's not he shot a high percentage, partly why they smacked the Heat. Lost by 13, got the 32 minutes. So yeah, I guess in close games, right? We look at the Spurs game, it was close for a bit, even though they lost to the Spurs by 13. This was only an 8-point win. So if the game stays close, he's usually good for the usage. It's just not where he's been recently. So would you take an over on Con, or do you think?
Hold that thought, bro.
Okay, what do you got?
We have someone
Oh,
out of there.
I got you. I just banned him. It's easy inside StreamYard. Yeah, don't spam the chat. Just yell at us with comments about what you want to bet on. That's all you need to do.
So you're saying that Brandon Miller is still seeing the usage?
No, I was saying, yeah, Khan has not been, is what I was saying. Like because of the
okay,
yeah.
I think that's really important, and also like Miami's an pace up spot for the Hornets, right? So Brandon's naturally going to get more shots there, and they're not a bad team. Orlando is just guard one person or guard 4 other people, allow one person to have the game. Memphis is a very bad team. Kings are a very bad team.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't read too much into the last like 5 games per se.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd have a 17.5 because that's when you pounce, right? Like this would have been perfect if we see all this usage under for an explained reason, which is that they're blowing teams out. And then you get to the Knicks and you're like, well, this is a good defense. This should be 17.5 for them. And they have it lined at 18.5 because the Knicks are so good. The model adjusted upward. So
I'm sorry. I was misunderstanding what you were saying. I was still referring to the Brandon Miller perspective. I think it's 18.5 because of what I was saying prior.
Yeah.
I think that Con being on the floor is good spacing for the under on Brandon Miller threes.
Sure. And I then took it to the next step to go, well, maybe Con's the over then.
Sure, right.
But I don't know if I can get there, not even just based on the usage, but 18.5 is his fair number, and this is a good defense, right? So this is a spot where if he was at 17.5, because he'd been going under so consistently, which I'm considering an anomaly, he was going under because they were blowing teams out. Now, like, he should have a lower number after going under so much, and they still have it at 18.5, which kind of tells me the market's smart about this. But the Knicks, if you look at the opponent analysis, you can say what you want about them and how they've been up and down. They still overall have the 5th best defense and play at like a bottom 8 pace. So you're not going to get many opportunities against them. It's just not a great one for overs. I think I'm scared off of Brandon Miller threes at this point, even though I understand, like, I still like it. But why I like the Brandon Miller under 3 so much is if he is shooting 7 to 8. And this bump in the last 4 on the threes is enough for me to go, okay, I guess not. If the Knicks were a better 3-point defense.
What was the score in that Orlando game?
They won by 19. Yeah, it wasn't really.
And the score in the Miami game?
They also smacked them in that one.
Yeah. I wouldn't read too much into those 2 games, honestly, because like I guarantee you Brandon Miller was probably on the floor with like 3 people at the end of the game who were. He's probably just getting additional shots because the blowout and being the only really star on the floor at the moment.
There's definitely that possibility. He didn't need to do that against Miami, but the other games for sure. I mean, for Miami, he came out after 26 minutes, but he hit 4 for 6, right? And so I would love it if he took 6 to go under on 3.5, but I don't know if I can get there with it. So I'm probably just going to pass and not waste too much time on it. We can at least look at what everyone else has. We got some Kobe White stuff. We got some Grant Will stuff and some Josh Hart stuff. I forgot to mention one bet too. We'll get to this real quick, and then I'm going to get to one thing I forgot in the Pelicans game. Grant Williams. Is there anything to suggest? I mean, we have him at 20 minutes. That's not bad, but I wonder if he's been getting minutes because of the blowout recently, and we need to be a little bit weary.
I would think so. That makes sense in my brain.
Right. 17 against Sac, not great. 19 against Memphis. 17. So I don't know. He's not really even touching 20, even when they get blown out or blow somebody up more likely. Do you like him in 20 minutes to get? Let's see what his PRA is at over here.
Have to be very efficient.
Yeah, it seems like he might have to be. He doesn't even have PRA available because he's just not getting the minutes. And now, when you go up against a good squad, he only played 22 here against the Spurs. I don't know if you want to bank on that. I mean, he took 8 shots in 22 minutes. That's crazy. But you're talking about 3 shots against Miami, 1 shot, 3 shots, 1 shot. Those are in blowout games. Like, I don't know that he's a player that's like, oh, we got to get him in when we're playing against good teams. It's not like he's not like Alex Caruso. So I think I might be out on G Will in this one. I don't think he deserves the nickname, but I'll just call him that. I don't feel like saying Grant Williams. And then, yeah, so Khan's going to unfortunately be a fade for me, or a pass for me. I didn't see what the minutes or the threes were at because that was also a request. But, oof, yeah, nah. Like, for sure not both of these guys. I think one of them is going under 3.5 threes in this matchup. So I don't know which one you want to fade, but if you faded both of them, you're going to lose money on the VIG. So I don't know if you want to do that. But I forgot one thing I wanted to say here for another bet that Chang had brought up for us, and that's Herb. I think Herb is a decent look. This is okay. There's still 14.5. So that's actually what I kind of really like. Let me pull him up on the model for the PRA or just overall and see what we have.
While you're doing that, you're going to be happy to know the Mets ran Paul Skeens out the building. They're up 2-5 in the first.
Are you serious?
They're up 2-5 in the first.
Whoo! Skeens my ass. Let's go. I'm gonna be so obnoxious, dude. If you've ever been to Shea or I guess City at this point, and you just like hate the crowd because of who we are as people, like you're gonna hate me. It's fine. There's no real edge here, but we don't have the stuff pulling through yet from the Knicks game, so we need the NBA to get their S together so we can get some potentials looks here. But he had 13, 6 dimes, 2 boards. Let's see if Siegel's pulling this through. Come back to me. Yeah, they did just play the Knicks. That's right. 5 chances, 7 assists. Yeah, and then the points at 13 on 8 shots. Not great, but like I think 14.5 if Trey Murphy's out too. Not a great spot for the matchup, I know, but he could be in line for some. I think he was playing mid center at times as well. And if Trey Murphy's out, then I really actually like this a bit more for Herb.
Right,
14.5 number. I'm at least going to write that down. I might be getting a bet on his PRA down.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I have no qualms with that at all.
Yeah, not great matchup wise, obviously. Let me look at his usage again on the points real quick. Because I like the look that someone brought in the live show for Herb against the Knicks. Better defense to go up against for catch and shoot guy, no question. But yeah, I mean the usage without Trey Murphy would be nice.
Swish
Derek Queen, gotta talk about that. Yeah, gotta look at that. I'm putting Herb down as a strong lean for right now for those chalking that up. But Derek Queen, look at those buy numbers. He's down to 6.5. How do we get him? How do we even get him to can we get him to 20 minutes? I don't think he's touched 20 in a second. He's right around 2019. That's Dallas, man.
Swish is definitely the Derek Queen whisperer. I have nothing for you.
You're
unfortunately,
totally right. It's almost just like it's kind of one of those where if Swish says, like yesterday when he said Cam Spencer, I was like, I don't really need to hear anymore. Like I'm with you, right? Did he end up getting 5? He got 4 in like the first half. If he didn't get one more assist, I'm gonna lose my mind because I didn't double check that with Cam. I'll have to go back and look, but this is that moment. Neesmith, by the way, another. Hey, this is a yesterday Swish play. Neesmith at 11.5 was just way too low. If he's playing closer to 30, lo and behold, he plays 30, gets 14 points. This is just what Swish does. This is how he's literally made a living and bought a condo across the street from every fucking sports book in the country. I'll just talk my guy up. Like this type of bet right here where he's like, market's cheap. I don't care who he's playing. I'm taking over.
And then he responded and said if one of the guards sit, he gets 5 to 7 more minutes.
Yeah, especially that. Is DeJounte still questionable? I don't know why I thought I saw that he was officially in. That would be helpful if he was actually still officially out or not officially in yet. Keep this in mind right here. Look at this. This is huge. Marcus Sasser in Javonte. Like Marcus Sasser is probably going to steal some minutes from Danis, who's played
for sure
damn near 40 minutes a game for the last however many games, right? And we do have Tobias questionable. There is about so this is what I thought so. Injury management, but he's available to play. This could be him at 25 minutes for DeJounte. Let me see. real quick. His minutes against the Knicks, 28, 30. Like, yeah, there's no minutes limit. So he's playing at 30. But if Trey Murphy's out, then that's wonderful, especially for the Derek Queen look. So I'm keeping D Queen. What's his? I wonder if you'd go PRA Swish, or if you have a specific prop that you like for him a bit more. But if you just think he's getting a bit more burn and a bit more usage, then PRA is usually just like a safe play. If he's been at 20, let's say he plays 25. Let's get him to like 23 to 27. Jesus. What about 20 to 25? Good Lord. What? That is dumb low. Dumb. And you can get 12.5 on MGM for even money. Oh, man, I miss my MGM accounts. Oh, man, I haven't had them in like a month. They were beautiful. Wow. 12.5, you can get it. I think it's 13.5 now. And again, maybe we wait to see a bit more about the news for Trey Murphy, because maybe this is not as sexy if Trey's in, obviously. But I mean, man, you give this kid a floor of 20 minutes, dude, and that's good to go. So I got that written down. Derek Queen.
Swish said the market won't respond to Trey being out in regards to Queen.
Oh,
that's elite knowledge right there.
But which means you can wait. Okay, beautiful. So you're saying I can wait to bet Derek Queen.
That's my understanding.
When he gets ruled in, if Trey Murphy does get ruled in, that's not going to like bump him down. And if Trey Murphy gets ruled out, it's not going to bump him up. The market's just missing on him. God, I love you, Swish.
Big brain.
I know. And it's just like nice to have a safety blanket of like, Swish said it. Yeah, I can feel comfortable with it. And even if it doesn't hit, I'm not going to blame him, because I'm still going to be hitting at like this 60% freaking rate with the dude. So God love you, Travis. Make sure you are shouting out Swish. Give that video a like too. Don't give it for me. Give it for Swish, please, for the love of God. Like, the man is doing the Lord's work. And so I just would really, really appreciate it. This is our currency. You know what I mean? So we can just give it a like so that other people can also find the video and stuff. That's super, super helpful. All right, keep rolling as I pander. I'm gonna get that Queen look here. And
you want to do? If you want to do that, I'll pull up some baseball really quickly, because the game's about to come on.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, love that. Let's we interrupt your scheduled programming to get into some MLB.
So while you're doing that, I'll pull up one thing that I was looking at earlier.
Gotcha, you're up.
I actually haven't bet this, but I do think it's relevant information.
Can you make the window a little smaller, just out of curiosity, for yours? Or is that like just so we can see a bit more if we want to?
Oh, I'm expanding it now. I had it
sexual.
I had it on a different monitor.
Love it. Get it going. It's all you, baby.
So what I'm about to show you guys is a Prop Finder. I use this for baseball specifically. But if we go to the let's look at the weather in this game first before I do anything. I think it's good. So Sox, Brewers. So it's going to be raining a little bit later, but it's got a roof, so I'm not super worried about that. So back here, looking at the Sox and Brewers. What I like to look for specifically when I'm looking for baseball players is I want to understand what the pitcher is most vulnerable in what position. So I like looking at this HR9 number, home run per 9. And anything I see around 1.7 or higher is something I'm looking at. Mizorowski is a demon. Do not get it wrong, but 1.65 HR9 is not nothing. And so I was looking at the left-handed batter. He's given up a fly ball home run. I'm not saying you should bet home run here, but Colson Montgomery is kind of interesting specifically because he hits the four-seamer really well, and Mizorowski leaves a lot of power on that four-seamer specifically. And then if you look at Montgomery's last 15 with the four-seamer, he's nailing that thing. And then the slider as well. So then I want to go to see where he is weak in the lineup specifically, talking about Mizorowski. And would you look right there? Second spot, he is giving up a 322 ISO and a 433 ISO, the first and second spot. And Montgomery's in that second spot. He hasn't hit in the second spot of the lineup yet, but Montgomery's a demon. I bet on him a lot last year. I like him in this spot. Only putting a half unit on it, but for an HRR, I think Montgomery's a really good bet. Let's see what is still out there for HRRs. Yeah, 1.5, 100%. Yeah, plus 130. Sign me up yesterday. And then to tease something really quickly that Swish built. Let me pull that up really quickly.
Do it. And while you do, I'll just say Underdog Baseball just had the tweet of the day, which was a graphic that says in huge letters, the Rockies have been eliminated from postseason contention.
I saw that.
Fucked up. Sorry, Rockies fans.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah,
And
and
then,
we just a little teaser that Swish is, as if he isn't busy enough. He's formulating this baseball, this MLB dash that's going to basically look at cheap, expensive, fair numbers for baseball props, mostly the
yep.
two-way markets, probably like innings pitched or outs recorded, and hits, runs, RBIs, but
And what a coinky dink. Look who's at the top projection of this game for a home run. Colson Montgomery at 20. He's got 26. I don't know how to say this specifically, but he's got a quarter of a home run projected, which is a pretty high number, I would say, specifically. But no, yeah. Swish knocked us out of the park.
Dude, I haven't seen the updates. I was like, what is that?
Swish had knocked us out
What
of
are
the
you
park.
using? And it's ours. This is.
Who is this Colson and who does he
I
play
just
for?
want to be clear. I went to bed and this didn't exist. And then I woke up and this existed. That's what Swish did last night. I just want to throw that out there.
Colson Montgomery plays for the White Sox. He's facing Jacob Mizorowski from the Brewers. Again, Mizorowski isn't as a demon when it comes to a pitcher. He's projected for 9 Ks. I just don't think it's a great matchup for Mizorowski specifically, and a great matchup for Montgomery. And so I like Montgomery's HR over 1.5. And then, did you want to get back to the? Sorry, were you saying something?
I'm just speechless. This is so sick.
It really is. Oh, he added the HRs. Look at that right there. He's projected for 2.56.
Jesus,
that is a banger right there.
To be fair, too, like Swish was saying, he was like, dude, all this, Jesus, loving Christ, go away. All these NBA stat sites are terrible compared to the MLB stuff that just like seems to pull through so much nicer and easier for him. But that's sick, dude. Do you want to take a quick look at Tyler O'Neill and we'll go there? And if you want one more, we'll do these two for MLB. So if you have anything for this, Matt, anything home runs in this game, if you have any those
I
two.
believe for Tyler, he plays for the Orioles. Yeah. Is that correct?
Correct, unless he got moved in the offseason.
I have 2 other looks in that game. I think a lot of people are on Tyler specifically because he's hit a home run in like a couple straight. Opening days. Right there. I don't know that this is a great matchup for him per se, but we can take a look at him. Let's see. So he's a right-handed batter. We want to target left-handers versus Joe Ryan. So like right-handers is giving up 1.06 home runs per 9. I like it at like 1.7. So that's the reason I was looking at left-handers. But we can look at Tyler really quickly. So Tyler again. So he has a home run against him. That's good. That's a W. We can look at that in a second. What game that was in and why.
Yeah,
pitches though.
I just put up in the comments too, man. Like I'm gonna let you go for a minute because I love this MLB stuff and I want to get some MLB bets down. And there's a lot better games in the NBA. But if y'all have NBA stuff, we can check it at the end.
I do. Yeah, I have one thing that I did bet that I like for tonight in the NBA Orlando game. Yeah.
Okay, we'll definitely come back to it. Yeah, just stay tuned for the NBA. But I love this dashboard that I didn't know existed. That's on the site.
For Tyler specifically. So he's going to be seeing the 4-seamer 47% of the time. Tyler crushes it. I mean, his ISO is 217, his slugging 435. If you really believe in the idea that like he is balled in on hitting a homer or going yard opening day, then I think it's a decent.
You're also probably going to need to. I think he had brutal splits last season, right, against lefties.
Well, this is what I was about to point out though, is specifically Joe Ryan. I didn't have my screen up.
Yeah.
Like Joe Ryan is very suppressive against right-handers.
Oh, okay.
And Tyler is a right-handed batter.
Yeah.
For transparency, though, I did bet Pete Alonso for a home run in this game, and he's a right-hander, but it's completely different because Pete Alonso is just a demon. And he just hits everything really well.
God, I miss him.
But I mean, again, I have no qualms with Tyler. Let's see what position is he in. That's something I like looking at specifically. Yeah, so he's not in a weak spot either. He's in the 6th spot, is that right? He's so Joe's given up point 0.2 or 117 ISO. He's given up 2 home runs last year in that 6th spot. So I'd be a little bit worried about that, to be honest. He's very weak though in the 3rd, 5th, and 7th spot. And Pete is in the 3rd spot. And Pete has hit 19 home runs in that 3rd spot. That's the reason I was on Pete. I also like Gunnar in this game. Gunnar looks very good. Let's see. For Gunnar specifically, he's a left-handed batter, and he crushes the four-seamer. He's in it 32% of the time, and Joe's throwing it 54, say 55% of the time. He's decent with the splitter, which he's going to see 16% of the time. The sweeper he's good at, so on and so forth. So I think Gunnar's a good look. But in this game in particular, I bet Pete Alonso over 1.5 HRR, and I also have Pete Alonso home run in a parlay. And then, let's see, is there any other games in this time slot? Is there any questions specifically outside of the title?
Yeah, I think there was a couple more. You brought Gunnar up, right?
Yeah. I like Gunnar.
Told him to do it. Yep. And then and Rauschman.
Rauschman. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what Rauschman's at. So he's in the 4th spot. Joe's given up a 155 in the 4th spot. He's a switch hand. Oh no, not still switch hander. What is he at? Here. Yeah, he is switch hander. There he is. So he's going to be batting. What's that having batting? I think batting right-handed though. No, it hasn't batting left-handed. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, he hits the four-seamer. I'd like this at 0.200, not 0.195. Splitter and the sweeper leave something to be desired. So you're really just kind of hoping he sees a four-seamer. And then if he sees a four-seamer specifically, he's pulling it, so he's hitting it straight. Hasn't hit a home run in the last. He has 1 home run in the last 15. And then specifically for his scatter chart, he's got 1 home run right there. So he could do it. It's probably in a better spot for like an HRR, if anything, like a sack fly. See, Rauschman's in 4th spot. Yeah. I think HRR is probably a good spot for him because you have Ward in front of him, Gunnar in front of him, Alonso in front of him. You have Vassallo after him, O'Neill after him. So Rauschman's probably a great HRR spot. Let's see. Yeah, I can get that minus 105. So the market's tending to agree. Normally you see those at like plus money. I think Rauschman HRR is probably a really good bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can get the hit and then the run or the RBI.
I like it.
Anything else in this game?
No, the only other thing I would ask about, I mean, I was just thinking about the either the Seattle game that was brought up, but I don't know if I would be taking too many home runs. It's in Seattle.
I haven't looked at this game since it's so late and the lineups are not official. I don't think.
Yeah,
and
no worries.
Lineups, they're not official. Lineups are so important when it comes to baseball.
Yeah. All right, let's look at this one that I want to bring up real quick because we didn't talk about Cat. So I might do some jump to NBA real quick. If you guys have anything for the NBA, let me know. I was just looking at some bets to try to get down for the baseball. Caught me looking at Cat. I thought that was at least an interesting look real quick. And then I did want to go to the Orlando game. We haven't touched that one. And I know you had a specific bet in the Orlando game. I wanted to bring up Cat because he's been killing it, at least going over 19.5. And so that's a pretty soft number. Obviously, the 4 games, even 5, actually 6 straight games against really soft comps, specifically down low for all these teams. I mean, 5 of these 6 teams are brutal, awful, and then the Dubs are just not good versus centers. So I think the Cat stuff is low even for a reason, right? And we actually have him a little bit lower because some of these games were missing a couple guys or 1 or 2 guys or whatever. So Cat at like 19.5 against a good defense, not as good. Once you go up like that, it's a bit tough, right? Like the Washington number was at 18.5 and this is at 19. It's a little bit tough. I'd be leaning towards Cat tonight before I lean towards Jalen Brunson, specifically on the points. But again, I think we're pretty much right at the number, and the projection for him actually goes a little bit under that, even with a game that doesn't have too many points projected for it. I do think 19.5 is getting close to a number that is just a just push the button number for Cat, but the market hasn't really agreed with me too much. It's keeping it down at 19. I'm just looking at the green stuff for Cat and going, Cat's such a like headspace kind of player. Like what kind of headspace is he in? That he's clearly been in a good headspace for like 9 games in a row. When does that stop? I don't know. He had a big game against his team last time, but this is a different time. So I think this is 19.5 is just fair for him, unfortunately, for Cat. I just wanted to bring that up. And I actually thought the rebounds for Cat were okay. But if you get 10.5 still, I like that. 11.5 is right at number, but I do think 10.5 is the model is agreeing with me there. Even against the Hornets' good defense, 10.5 is just a bit too low for a dude who's been consistently at like anywhere from like 11 to 14 rebounds here, really over the last 10. And even on the season, I believe he's right at about 11. So I think 10.5 is a good number if you can get it for the over on the boards. That would be my preferred way to play Cat if you have that number. And I do think 19.5 is a beatable number for him, but I don't want to have a bet on Cat in a situation where if this game goes south for any reason, then I don't like it. But I do like Cat more than JB in that sense. And I know I don't think we talked about Jalen. I would just say if I was going to bet on Jalen Brunson, I'd be going assists. And the model is close to agreeing, not necessarily in full agreement. But once you get up to 25, 26.5 for Jalen with tough defender, but the Pelicans are terrible limiting assists overall. So that's where I'd be going. But all right, Orlando, real quick.
Yeah.
Go for it. What were you looking at?
Pull up Goga.
Let's go to it. Goga.
Yeah, I think Goga's a good bet today.
On the points?
PR.
Let's look at the combined number here on the PropsMadness. Which game am I going to? Orlando. Goga.
It's a 15.5 point spread. I think Goga's probably going to get some additional minutes. I think it's 10.5 for the PR.
I'm going to look at this win gap. It's like let's give him 14.
Give 14. That's fine. And then PR.
Nice little 13.3 average. What are the minutes?
Now I'm even probably going to hit the double.
Woo! Sexual. Still only about 15 minutes, but he's getting out there for some run. Wow. Wait, I thought I had the minutes. Oh, I didn't have them filtered at all. He's actually like not even getting minutes in some of these games, but that was the win by 27 against Minnesota. Yeah, there's some like Paolo missing, but like Franz was playing, so it's not really too big of a difference. Recently, let me see too. Like some of these big wins versus so this is close, but 20. Yeah, I mean, Suggs back maybe isn't awesome, but I mean, if it's a big win and he's at closer to 14.
My goodness, bro.
Just getting spammed.
Yeah, I just took care of it.
That's my fault. Did I put this somewhere that it shouldn't be?
It's probably MLB and the March Madness are probably out specifically targeting those keywords.
I guess. Yeah.
I was going to say something else. Maxime. I thought Maxime was cheap, even if it is Orlando.
Points specifically, because I think he's 9.5 boards.
Points.
Yeah, 15.5 is definitely lower than the 16 that we've been seeing for him.
17, really. But yeah.
And 17 at times. Wow. Yeah, you get a little bit of a boost there, 15.5. I mean, Precious is questionable. Maybe that's keeping it down, right? Questionable if Precious is ruled in, then we probably lose Maxime. We get him up at 16.5. Or I'm sorry, if he's out, then we might get Maxime up at 16.5.
Maybe I feel like we've seen a 17.5 line with Precious in, no?
I don't know for sure, because I mean, even against like Brooklyn right here, the closing line for points was 16.5, 16, 13, 17 against the Jazz. And that was actually Precious was in that game. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure we've seen 7.5 with Precious in.
Yeah, it was the Jazz. So if it's 1 to 2 points difference it's probably just a 1 point difference against.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely wait because that's a valid point. But I feel like this probably does go to 17.5 if Precious is out. And so I think it's probably, I would take the gamble on losing 2 points than gaining 1 point. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I think you might have a 1 point edge there, to your point, for Maxime on the points. How many times can I say points? I think that makes sense. I was looking at him thinking about that, but yeah, I think we wait on the news here for Precious.
No, I think you bet it now. The reason being is I think it probably drops down to 14.5 at best.
This goes up to 16.5.
Yeah, I think it drops down to
I
14-5
agree.
at best. I could see it going to 17-5 with Precious out.
Yeah,
So I think
I think 16 for sure. To your point, I think the market's waiting on that, and it could, if people find that to be a good bet, the market could push it up. But I think this probably settles at 16 and a half for sure. So I think either way, getting it now.
I just want to brag for a second. What did I tell you all about those weak spots?
Did you talk about this?
Yeah, I told like weak spots. Like Mizurowski has the lead off, and the second spot is a weak spot for him.
Hell yeah. Off to a great start. Let me see real quick. Yeah, the precious stuff is like what we gotta like kind of keep an eye on, I think. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. But if you think Precious is out, you have any kind of beat on Precious not playing tonight, then I think you can. Then that's when you go with Maxime right now. Let's see. Yeah. So just to answer. I mean, Matty definitely likes Goga tonight. I see that
I would bet 9.5 in a heartbeat.
Yep, if you can get that on the P, that's crazy. Actually, that's pretty low. De Silva 11.5. I thought De Silva was someone to talk about because if Suggs is back, does that scare you off? You bet Tristan a couple times recently.
I think Swish kind of talked about this in the Swish answers questions. I think I'd make it 9.5, but 10.5 is definitely an argument to be made. It certainly is an 11.5 if Suggs is in.
Yeah. Wait, you're talking about P? What are we talking about?
TDS.
TDS what though?
Points.
Okay, so it's at 11.5 right now.
Yes.
And Suggs is still questionable?
I'm not sure that's my problem with it. Like if Suggs is in, then 11.5 is stupid expensive.
Why did I think Suggs was officially in? Oh, just because he went through shoot around, but he's got an illness, so he's legit Q. I have not been working under that assumption. That's my bad. So we don't have any Suggs news, but he is officially questionable, and that definitely impacts things. So you think this bumps down if Suggs is ruled in?
Certainly.
In which case, it might not be smart to play because I don't think he's going up if Suggs is ruled out.
No.
At 11.5, that's basically where he's peaked. I mean, he was 10.5 against the Cavs, and then the boards at 4.5, basically where he's been at too. So, like, I like De Silva, in theory, but yeah, I think the Suggs stuff is impactful, mostly just because you don't want to get such a bad number, right?
Yeah, that's the thing right there.
Yeah.
Well, whereas I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Whereas we were talking about a moment ago about Maxime going down 1 point, but has the chance of jumping up 2 if Precious is out. There is no upside to betting De Silva at 11.5. If Suggs is out, it's going to be 11.5.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't think. Yes, 100%. I don't think you need to rush a bet on Tristan until you know a little bit more about Jalen Suggs. Wendell Carter keeps getting brought up. I didn't see.
Swish seems to think it could jump to 12.5. I guess I suppose it's possible, but I still think 11.5 is expensive with Suggs in. The possibility of Suggs being in, I should say.
I agree. I don't think Tristan's the guy that gets blowout minutes if Suggs plays and they blow him out. I don't think it's like, oh, look at Tristan De Silva in the blowouts necessarily. If you are scared of a legit blowout tonight, man, I mean, it's a little bit tough sometimes. I don't love the Magic right now. I mean, what are they, a 6-game losing streak? They definitely need a win, but like pulling yourself up to that degree to like smack another team when you're in the doldrums might be a little bit tough. But if you do believe in a blowout, which the market is telling us is going to be, so I'm not trying to say I know more than the market, but if you do believe in the blowout, guys like Wendell Carter lose about 5 minutes. So does Paolo. So does Desmond Bane. So the 3 key guys that have been consistently in for them, obviously Suggs is important, but he just hasn't been in as often. Those 3 key guys that are actually playing between Baines, Banchero, and Carter Jr., those guys have that blowout fade. So you just got to be careful with that stuff. But let's pull up Wendell if he's still at 11.5 on the points. Like we do have him at 12.5. We do have him right around the 7.5 boards. Might even be able to wait for 6.5. I don't know why that's going down. Wonder if Suggs impacts that for him. But he's been scoring without Suggs, that's for sure. And he's had the expected overs. Suggs played in this game, but yeah, he's been taking the shots. I don't think 11.5 is like this number that I'm excited to bet for him, but it's an easy matchup. Do you have any thoughts on Wendell?
11.5. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about.
Oh, that's fine. We can finish the point either way about TDS.
Yeah. To Swish's point, if we hit 10.5 with Suggs in, 12.5 makes sense with Suggs out if the market's hedging at 11.5.
Got it. That makes total sense. That's how you look at this shit, man. That's the perfect way to look at this stuff, which is like Why is this number 11.5 for Tristan da Silva? It's 11.5 because the market knows it should be fair at 10.5 if he's in for Suggs, and if Suggs is out, it should be 12.5. So because we don't know for sure with Suggs, they're just putting it right in the middle, essentially hedging it. So let's take a quick look at Maxime first quarter. Not sure if there's anything there, but when I bet, if I ever bet a first quarter bet, which I actually like first quarter bets in the playoffs, because when we play in the playoffs and we just have these teams going back and forth against each other, you start to understand minutes and rotations, and you see how many minutes a guy is going to play in the first quarter, which leads to an approximation of the amount of shots he's going to take in that quarter, and then you can really bank on it and even if you don't hit it one time, you know that he's consistently getting those minutes and those shot attempts in the first quarter, so you can go back to it. This looks really good because he's got about 8.5. This is a 4.5 number on some spots. You can get 3.5 on Hard Rock. Might be hitting you up for that. And then, I saw you for Castle. God damn it, Castle, you piece of shit. The minutes here, 8 minutes, 8 minutes, 8 minutes. So yeah, we can bank on 8 minutes. About 4 shots, 2 free throws, 5 shots, 4 shots. He's taking 4 shots in the first quarter. I kind of like where you're at, dude. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Minus 50, 150 is a lot.
It is.
But I think it's warranted at 3.5, to be honest. And I still think 4.5 at plus 129 is not a bad bet.
Yeah. Kind of liking this.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, I would drink the juice at 3.5 if you can on any other books, but I don't hate 4.5 at plus 129 if you did like a 0.6 units or something.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. Let's take. I don't know if you want to take Westberg out. I think that adds up. If 4 shots, for sure, 4 shots on 3.5 is good for me, and I think 8 minutes is pretty consistent enough to expect it.
Swish says we're projecting 5.5 first quarter for Maxime.
Oh, right. Where is that? I gotta find that. We have a first quarter. Yeah, I like that. That's a really good look. I wonder if you just drink the juice there or not.
Yeah, I would be very tempted to.
Yeah.
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, I like this. I also realized I just paid you for Castle before the bet.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was going to tell you afterwards.
I know. I just keep talking about my stream of consciousness is just coming forward, man. What's up, the franchise? Always good to have you in here, bro. It's a steal. What are you talking about? Brandon Miller, first quarter. Another first quarter look. Let's get Brandon Miller. Swish, interested to know if you have a look for Brandon Miller on the first quarter stuff too. Let's pull up what he's at and see if there's anything to the minutes and all that kind of stuff. Q1 points. Let's see. 6, 9, 6, 12. That doesn't help me. 8. So it's anywhere from 6 to 12 minutes if you want to call it 9 a quarter. What's his first quarter minutes at? Oh, look at that. Exactly 9. Just based on quick looking at 8, 8, 12, 6, 8, 12. It's just going to be 9. I don't know if I can get there with that. If it was just like 9 minutes flat across the board and every one of these things was 9 minutes, I'd be like, oh, there's a clear first quarter rotation we can bank on. I don't think you can bank on that at this point. He might also be getting fat. Like, yeah, sometimes he gets 2 fouls in the first quarter. So that could be a part of why.
Is Brandon Miller hanging a rogue line at Hard Rock?
Whoa.
3.5. Oh my God. BRB. What? I am busy right now. I think Swish says we make it 6.
Dang.
Let me send that one.
Go to your bet. And dude, my guy Mimi KDD. I was calling out exactly what I eventually found, which is a great call. Which is like, yeah, I think he's just getting 2 fouls in the first quarter. If that's not a reason not to bet someone if you think he can keep his hands to himself for 8 minutes in the first quarter. But yeah, bro, run to the window, run to that window. 3.5 for Brandon Miller in the first quarter.
I did send that one.
Maybe HR and MGM are actually the same software that they use to make their lines. I think that's probably they use the same company because they're always the 2 rogue motherfuckers that are just like off right together. And if you see both of these at minus 130, then yeah, you got to feel I don't know whose their software is, but who's ever making their lines is basically like the same team. Automatically speaking, at least the openings. All right, yeah, I see that. That's a gift. Yeah, that is. God bless. Like, enjoy that. it might be, hot and sweaty and swampy in Florida, man, but you got 3.5 first quarter points for Brandon Miller lined on
I am very thankful.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, count your blessings. Oh, okay. So we got someone actually watching the Hornets like that. Yeah. I bet, man. I bet that's like probably the biggest issue with Brandon Miller in general. Because, like, tell me what you think, Mimi KD, but like, this is Brandon Miller's team to me, and it's actually more Brandon Miller and Khan's team than it is LaMelo's. That's how I look at it. Is like, I know LaMelo's been key, and there's actually numbers that show that LaMelo's, like, when LaMelo's off and Khan and Miller are playing together, they're not nearly the same. So I don't want to just poo-poo Brandon Miller, but LaMelo Ball, but I think it's Brandon Miller's team, to be honest. That 3.5 is beautiful. God bless to all y'all that can get MGM or Hard Rock. Hit up your friends in Florida if you have any. Wendell is unfortunately going to be a stay away. I think I just want to bring up that we were talking about the end of the bench for Orlando. If you do believe in the blowout, not sure if Jamal Cain has sort of, usurped Javon Carter as the dude that comes off the bench and gets some more love, but like, he started in Suggs' absence the other day, right? That was 2 days ago, whatever. Yeah, 2 days ago for Jamal Cain. Had 17 points in 32 minutes. More importantly, just the 32 minutes, man. So I know Suggs is probably back. That puts him to the bench, but it might mean he's the first guy off the bench, and that might be where I'd prefer to go instead of Javon Carter. What do you think about that angle for the end of the Magic bench?
Yeah, I just don't know which one to go to, but I like the thought.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So
I mean, that's what
away.
led me to Google it, right? Like, I think it's a great position for the end of the bench.
Mm-hmm. And then are we betting on Cardwell? I guess we're also waiting on Precious for that, but like, if we bet on Cardwell Rebs tonight, are we gonna regret that?
Yeah, I don't. I want to see a couple more games with him being in, because I think the last game made sense with Precious out. I don't know what to cap him out otherwise.
Yeah. If he plays 20 minutes, he's averaging about 8 boards per 20, and he's averaging 14 reb chances per 20. I can get him to 8 boards for plus money, but if Precious is in, this is absolutely going to go down to 6.5, and it already starting to a bit.
Yeah.
Spots, actually. And I actually don't mind 6.5 almost like right now. Just we'll see. We might be able to get better juice and a better number. But I think if you can get him to 18 minutes, then I still think you can take 6.5. That's definitely how I feel. Let me see if we have anything on him here real quick. Dylan Cardwell. Yeah, we got him at 7.8 in 18 minutes, which is pretty much what I'm saying here, man. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Goodness. Someone's saying they're getting 2.5 from Miller first quarter. Where?
That's fire. Go for it.
And what's the juice on that?
I mean, yeah, probably what, like minus 200?
Has to be.
Yeah. This is so true, man. Because I was looking at Miles Bridges' stuff last year, and I was just like, Jesus, Miles Bridges was the best player on the floor for this team for like half the season. And now he's at like 13.5 a game. Mimi KDD knows ball. Yeah, it is true. Like LaMelo being out there is actually really important, but I don't know if I like the points for him tonight, 19.5. The Knicks defense does. I think matchup is a bit important when you're looking at that one tonight. The Knicks defense is specifically, and Mike Brown's defense is tailored to limiting pull-ups, not catch and shoot. They're limited. They're supposed to be limiting the pick and roll ball handler, but they're also boo-boo against that at times. I hate the Knicks this season. I think LaMelo at 19.5 points is actually probably pretty close to fair when you look at him. Let me pull him up for you. My bad. Just scrambling for no reason. I can just pull him up over in this game. See what the model thinks about LaMelo for a minute. Rebs, no points. Yeah, because like it's 19.5 against the Knicks is basically like saying 20.5 against like the Kings, for example, right? So it's a bit tough to get there with 19.5 against a good defense, but 19.5 is something that's pretty fair for him overall. It's just that's why we adjust the numbers, because you can't just look at past lines and go, oh my God, it's been higher. It was 20.5 against this team or 20.5 against that team. You have to look at the adjusted one based on the opponent. And that's why Swish has it so that the line gets adjusted based on who the opponent is. And it's not just what the line was from the market. So I think that's the best way to look at it, is like 19.5 for him against the Knicks is like 20.5. So you feel like 20.5 again for LaMelo is kind of what you're looking at. So yeah, I think his brother is something crazy. I think it's like Prince or something like that. Like I think Precious has a brother with a crazier name than Precious. Like soft dude. No, just whatever it is, like tissue paper. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at this maturity from Coolio K. Just a little break unless Achua plays, and then maybe you want to bet some stuff based on that. So I see that. I love when we have responsibility promoted in the chat. Look at this. Let's get some if y'all got the March Madness plays, drop them in the chat for everyone. I appreciate that. You got Texas beating Purdue. Crazy. All right. Well, that would suck for my Purdue in the sweet or in the Final Four, but I don't know. You think that they're gonna be able to hang with Purdue's shooting? I don't know if they can. Maybe they can. I hope they don't. Josh Bell. Any thoughts on Mr. Bell today? I don't know if you looked at that game.
I haven't. I don't think I've looked at the game.
Is he not on the
Remind me who he plays for again.
Yeah, is he not
I
on the
can look him
Pirates?
up really quickly.
Maybe I'm wrong. Jesus Christ.
Remind me who he's playing for, and I'll look him up really
I
quickly.
gotta get back into this. I don't have anything for Josh Bell. Is he on the the Pirates?
I can't remember. Is he? I feel like he's on Washington Nats, right? Can I remember that correctly?
Say again?
Is he on the Nats? They're already playing.
No, he's on Twins now.
Okay, that's like I was wondering. Let me see. Josh Bell. He is. You want me to pull it up on my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we want to first look at the pitcher. You said he is on the Twins. Trevor Rogers. I don't know too much about this guy. Not a lot of data on him. So Josh is a switch hitter. Where is he going to be batting today? Left-handed. Okay, so he's batting left. There's literally like 21 innings of data on Trevor Rogers for left-handers. We can just peek and see what he throws. Yeah, I would probably just stay away. I don't know that I would actually fade him per se, but the lack of data on Rogers throwing to a lefty is a bit concerning to me.
Just want to put this out there to interrupt. Sorry, but Achua is ruled in. We'll come back to what that means, I think, before we dip, but just something to keep in mind for y'all.
For sure. Yeah, I wouldn't fade him or anything, but I wouldn't put money on him just because there's just no data on the pitcher, right? Like he's thrown 21 innings to a left-handed batter, and it doesn't look like no fly ball, no home run. But there is a 36% hard hit percentage, so that's something. But only a 4% barrel rate, and you want a barrel rate if you expect someone to go yards. So I'll probably stay away.
Yeah. We have one more look just while you got the baseballs up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it.
We'll do more since we went over this tonight, we can probably do like 10, 15 minutes of basketball in office hours tonight.
Oh, cool.
If you're in the VIP, okay. We'll go over baseball tonight.
Cool. Yeah. If y'all want to hit up, by the way, will you just show the start of our MLB dash real quick too?
Yeah, for sure.
So Swish made this last night, but we're gonna have some MLB for y'all MLB people too. We're gonna have plenty of good stuff looking at like what the projected numbers are for folks and what the fair price is, right? Fair price, cheap. Do you want to buy it? Expensive? Do you want to fade it or just stay away? That kind of thing. So, this would be awesome. I would love that. I might bet on Surias.
Suarez. Yeah. I have him on HRR today. I think it's very possible.
Yeah, I also looked at him. I liked him today.
He's on the Reds, right?
Yeah.
He is right now projected a 30th of a home run. So, and then for just everything else, I think he is near the top. He's at 1.56 bases. HRR, he is at 2.62. So 1.5 is a crazy line for his HRRs.
Yeah.
And he's in a good spot in the rotation too. I'll pull that up really quickly too.
Yeah.
That I think the Reds have their lineup out. The thing that's concerning is obviously Crochet, but
yeah,
I think Suarez did well against him in the past. But he's in the 5th spot. Obviously, you have Ellie in front of him. You have Sal in a weak spot in front of him, and you have Steer and Spencer who can hit him in. So 1.5 HRR I think is kind of a gift. Because specifically, if you look at the pitches, like he's crushing the 4-seamer, and Crochet's throwing that to him. And then if you look at again where he is in the lineup, in between Sal and Steer and Stevenson, their ISO is crazy and they're slugging, which is what you want to see when you want someone hit in or for someone to hit a home run specifically is their slug. And anything above like plus like 0.300 is insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think HRR spot for Suarez is great. He could definitely go yard. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm betting on it specifically because you're looking for a specific pitch at that point. But HRR is a very good play, I think.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's close. Yeah, we'll have office hours later for anybody who wants to jump into. So if you do want to jump into the Discord, link is in the description of the video. Wanted to just close out with a couple of things. So we did talk about a couple of bets that y'all are looking at. We actually kind of like Mitch Rob to an over at 7.5 boards. We might be able to get that at 6.5. I know someone was talking about how Mitch Rob dropped. So if you did want to look at Mitch Rob's stuff, you're going to see that he's probably getting closer to 6.5 if y'all are interested. So just one more look on that. I thought this was an interesting point too, real quick. Let me see where that other one was. There was it was somebody asking, I think it was Fly Price. Were you asking about? Yeah, there we go. Do you think OG or McHale guards Miles? And I do see where you're at with that. I think that's really interesting. If I were you, I would go to NBA.com. When's the last time these two teams played, real quick, right? Head to head. So they played on December 3rd was their last game. I think if you wanted to, you go to NBA.com. Not NBA 2K. Come on, man. NBA.com. Go to the games. Go to the right day that you're talking about here. Go to December. Find the game box score. Go inside the box score, and you can see who was guarding whom. Who was guarding who? I think who was guarding who. Any language experts out there? Is it whom there? Let me know. But the matchup stuff right here is really easy to get to. So you can just see who was defending, who was the offensive player is Miles, who defended Miles for the most amount of time. Looks like Joshy Hart, actually. So I think OG is on either LaMelo or Khan, probably LaMelo. If Miles, no, Josh Hart here. Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe it's the Josh Hart boards. I don't know if there's anything to that. Let's see what Josh Hart did in their last game real quick. Actually, I'm already in the box score, you dumbass. Go to the box score right here. And we saw Jay Hart have 8 boards. Can even pull up his potentials over here if you want to by going to player tracking and looking at the reb chances if this thing would load. This is how we used to do it, man. This is back in the day when you had to use the NBA.com. Yeah, so he had 13 rebound chances to get his 8 boards. Decent. I think it's a decent look. I like the idea. I always like to think about that when I'm looking at rebounds, like who are they actually guarding to get there. So it's a little back and forth. We had MLB, we had NBA. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I appreciate Matty and Swish saving me from having to do my own show pre-recorded about a 3-game slate in the NBA. And I know we have plenty of MLB coming too. I love the dashboard that we're putting out, man. So shout out to Swish again, dude. Just an absolute demon when it comes to making this stuff. But all right, appreciate y'all, man. We'll be back here again. I think we got a big slate tomorrow, so probably just go live for the NBA. Always going to be down to talk baseball, but maybe we'll section it out. So we'll go NBA first tomorrow, and then we'll do MLB afterward. It'll be a little bit more normal. So best of luck tonight, man, and we will talk to y'all tomorrow. So until then, happy betting.